search for your awesome. I see everyone coming in. Hello, hello, welcome. Oh, hi, Kalia. How are you? Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Hi,
We're
Trina.
good.
Wonderful. Well, thank you all for joining us. I am so excited to be here. This course has been coming for a while. I see a couple of my former SHRM students in here as well too. So if you if you've taken any classes with me before, this is my passion. This is what I love to do. So I am so glad that you all chose to join us today. I a huge thank you also to Black in HR for hosting this conversation and hosting this course, and to ADP for powering it as well too. You can only get this certification endorsed through with ADP through exclusively through Black in HR. So that's one of the many reasons why Black in HR is a wonderful, wonderful community. And this course is definitely for our community and for our community members. Like we said, we are here to see you win. And so anything that is needed for us, we have the expertise in-house to create it. So I am super excited to be able to have this. So just a few quick housekeeping things. Here's what to expect over the next 45 minutes or so. I'll have about 20 to 30 minutes of just content telling you all about the course, the state of AI right now, especially within HR. Then we will have 15 minutes in the end for some Q&A. I have some polls for you all, so as I launch those, please feel free to participate there. And then also feel free to drop your questions as I go along. Drop your questions in the chat. I will address them at the end. We have our moderators here as well too to help. So if your question isn't addressed through the presentation, I promise you I will get to them at the end of the presentation as well. Also, just some expectation setting. This in and of itself is not a training session. I'm not going to try to teach you the whole certification today, right? This is very informational. I want to share with you why AI matters right now within our industry, and what it actually looks like in our work, where we need to be careful as HR practitioners, and how this certification can really help you build a real skill set so you can use as soon as tomorrow, right? When you finish this class, you'll be able to wake up Monday morning. When you go to your job, you'll be able to put these skills to work right then and there. So that is the goal of this certification in this course. So let me there we go. I was about to say, I think it's a little delayed, but we're gonna work with technology today. So a little bit about me. If you have not met me before or interacted with me in the community, my name is Kimberly Hartman. I have been in HR for more than 20 years now. Most recently, my current role is the Director of Talent and Organizational Effectiveness at LegalZoom. Before that, I was an HR business partner supporting executives within corporate functions across tech industries as well too. I am a SHRM certified professional. I am a university instructor. I am a conference speaker, and I also am a trainer. And I create courses and content along the way. And so all of that to say, all of that means really like I've sat in the chairs that many of you are sitting in right now. I've been the HRBP at the table with leaders making fast decisions. They want to go fast, and so sometimes quality is put on the back burner, right? I've been the one like writing executive updates at 9 o'clock at night to get ready for a presentation in the morning. So I've been there. I've been there. I've done that. I've been the one trying to figure out whether any new tools or any new software could really help, or is it just really going to add to the noise of the organization and some of the dysfunction that happens within those corporate spaces. So all of that to say, I've been where you are, and I one of the reasons why this is a passion of mine is I want to create resources and content that helps our HR professionals throughout their careers and to really make it easier for them. And so now, of course, all you're hearing about is AI. And so AI is definitely a great tool, but I want to be able to help others to use it strategically, right? Also, so who is Black in HR? This wonderful community that you all have learned about this course through. We are a global inclusive community that, again, dedicated to really empowering you all, empowering HR professionals, whatever we can do to assist you, whatever we can do to help you level up in your career, that's what we are here to do. And so we have all kinds of, not just myself, but there are world-class instructors that are part of the Black and HR community, and subject matter experts in their field. All of them have definitely worked at some of the biggest companies like Google, Netflix, Indeed, the Coca-Cola company, Nike, right? Those are those big power players in corporate America. That's where a lot of our instructors and subject matter experts have worked. So they are able to really give you the real world experience, and you know, and you can trust that they know what they're talking about, and that they can help you to succeed in wherever you are trying to go in your career. So I am want to start by getting a feel for just where everyone is. This is definitely a no judgment zone, right? So we are all somewhere different on this journey. So I'm going to launch our first poll here, and let me get that pulled up. So you should be able to see it pop up on your screen. If you are familiar with Zoom, you know it just comes in a pop-up. But I want you to answer, you'll see two questions on there, but for this first part, just go ahead and answer the first question. And that's essentially, how often do you currently use AI in your work? Whether that's never, a few times, weekly, daily. Go ahead and put that in. Just answer question number one. We'll get to question number two later because I will relaunch the poll as well. But go ahead and answer that for me, and let's see where everyone is in the room. Awesome. I see some answers coming in. I see a couple of nevers. That's definitely more common than people are willing to admit. If you're answering never, I just want to tell you, you are not behind, right? I see a few times. Absolutely. This is most people. People are getting, poking around using different tools. You've maybe tried it once or twice. You've used it for like a meeting prep or an email or something. I see a couple of weeklies. I see most daily, so that's good. You definitely are early in adoption. You're likely already seeing some savings back in your week. Excuse me. So we definitely the risk sometimes, especially when you get to using it daily, is sometimes you can over rely on AI, and that's something that we definitely cover in week 4 of this course as well too. Is how we should be using AI and how we shouldn't be using it. So see lots of dailies there. Yeah, I'm gonna give it about 10 more seconds, but it looks like daily is winning right now, which is a good thing. Which is a good thing. That means we got a lot of people early adopters out here, which is awesome. All right. Okay, so I'm going to share the results with you all. So for this, we had about 78 participate. Yep, awesome. So like I said, 12 out of 22 people have chosen daily, a couple of people weekly, a few times. Awesome. Okay. So that gives me a good feel for where we are and what people how people are using AI currently right now. So that's a good thing. All right. So let's keep going. Come on, computer. I am so sorry, you all. It looks like technology is going a little slower. All right. So, all right. So, like I said, AI, everybody's talking about AI. It's here to stay. Let me tell you a little bit about how and where this clicked for me, right? I about 18 months ago, it was ChatGPT was all the rage. This was before Claude came out. And so I was in a meeting. One of our senior executives, who was not in HR, had generated their own like AI summary using ChatGPT. looking at our company engagement results. And in about 30 seconds, that person, that leader had some risks identified. They identified some trends. They had some recommended actions to share with the team and everybody in that meeting. And so, as the HR partner in the room, right, I definitely wanted to, you know, how we work on the decks and documents and things like that. And we want to make it look really good to be able to show up and bring insights to the table. But that executive had already done that. And it wasn't fancy and it didn't have all the bells and whistles on it, but he was able to have that information right then and there. And so he wasn't doing that to embarrass anybody in the room and definitely not to embarrass HR, but they were just moving fast. And so to me, that kind of signaled for me that the message is very clear right now. The speed of the business has changed with the business. That moment definitely stayed with me because, yes, AI is definitely impressive, but because the expectations around HR has and it continues to quietly shift. And nobody made a big announcement about it, right? It just started happening as people started getting access to those tools. And like I said, 18 months ago, it was, you know, Chat GPT was still the main tool that everybody was using. So here's what I want you to take from this slide in particular. AI adoption in companies is no longer optional or it's not even an experiment anymore. Every major HR platform, so whether you're using Workday, whether you're using ADP, ServiceNow, LinkedIn, right? They have all shipped AI features. Whether you want them to or not, it's here and it's here to stay. Leaders are also using AI to think faster. That means we have to be in the conversation. We can't be catching up. We can't be running behind our leaders. We have to be in the forefront of that. And then most HR teams have received zero structured training on this. So the field is wide open right now, right? The HR professionals who learn to use AI and learn to use it strategically are going to have the advantage. And not because the tool, right, itself, again, glitz and glamour, AI is amazing. We can all say that. But because you are able to think better and faster. And so that's where I don't want people to get caught up in the hype of all things AI, right? But it's actually about the work for our industry in particular, for HR. The work is changing, right? And so again, we have to be ahead of it. Try to part of being a strategic HR practitioner is being proactive and thinking ahead of the curve and looking around the corners. So we have to be at the forefront of that. So with the business, with our industry changing, excuse me, our leaders now and their expectations of HR and the HR function are actually changing as well too, right? So we have to be better and faster in our decision making, right? Leaders are not waiting 2 weeks for us to give them some really great, you know, analysis and some really great deck or document, right? They want a thoughtful answer and they want it today. And so AI can really help us get to a strong, like a first draft of those things faster. So we have the time to kind of think and refine, but not just writing the information or writing a document, right? It's also they're expecting better communication from us. We have to the people who are going to get invited to the table and stay with a few sentences. The business doesn't want HR speak. They want you to speak in the business, and the business is very succinct and it is very straight to the point. They don't need a whole lot of context. They don't need a lot of story, right? So they most executives they don't have time for those long process explanations like we tend to give in HR. So AI can definitely help us tighten our communication for the different audiences in which we are serving. We also the strategic influence as well too. There's a difference between reporting on something and coming with recommendations and strategic recommendations. So when you say or reporting like turnover went up 8%, that is an example of reporting. But if you can say something like turnover is up 8% in our customer facing roles and it's tied to workload issues. Here are three options that I recommend to address this. That is more strategic. That is actually influencing. And so AI can definitely help us move from the latter to, I mean, from the former to the latter, being more strategic and faster with that. I mean, our leaders are also expecting operational efficiency as well too. That's the quiet part that not a lot of people are saying out loud, but we see it as HR professionals. We see that, people and teams are doing layoffs and they're citing efficiency in their layoffs and role eliminations. And so the HR team is not getting bigger. It's just the truth of the matter is this is where we are. We're being asked to do more with the same exact head count that we've always had, or even less, right? So AI is one of the few tools that can actually create capacity without sacrificing the quality of the work that we are already used to delivering. And then last but not least, we say we want to be strategic business partners, whether you're in an HRBP role or not, right? But we want to have that business partnership. But HR leaders, HRBPs that I see succeeding right now are not the one with the best processes, right? They are the people who are walking into the meeting with a recommendation and the business case and data to be able to back up what they're recommending and why it's going to solve the problem. So that is the shift that this course is really designed to help you make, because it's AI is not what's going to make our industry and our profession more strategic, but it can help us get there faster. And that's what I want to be able to show and to teach those who decide to take this course. So let's talk about a couple of things that AI is already good at. Excuse me. Come on. Again, apologies for the technology. It's just going a little slower. All right. Okay, so here's what AI is genuinely good at. And these are the six categories that I personally use on a week in, week out basis. Drafting, going from a blank page to really getting the full draft or a first draft is probably the hardest part. And so AI can help you probably do 80 to 90% of the lifting and get you there a lot faster. I still have to rework a lot of it, especially for the tone and the audience, but I'm not starting from zero. So that's already some time savings right there. AI is also good at summarizing. This is really huge in HR because, again, we are very context heavy. We get long emails, we get meeting notes, survey comments, exit interviews. All of that is great. But AI is excellent at pulling themes from a lot of information and giving you action items to take out of a lot of mess and a lot of data. It's great at organizing, especially when my brain is going in five different directions and I have multiple projects going on at the same time. AI can help me put my thoughts into like a clean structure so that I can react and refine and put plans together and make sure that I'm staying on track. AI is great at brainstorming. So this one actually surprised me, especially within ChatGPT or Claude. There's a voice feature. So if I'm stuck on a problem and I only see like one option, using AI as a thought partner, using and I can and not having to type, but being able to voice text and be able to go back and forth with the AI tool has really been super helpful, and giving me four and five different possibilities for me to react to, even bad ones, right? That helps me see different solutions and situations differently that often lead to better recommendations and outcomes. AI is also good at prep, right? If you are thinking about think about your meeting agendas, think about questions and anticipating pushback from your leaders, right? Before you have to have like a really tough conversation or a critical conversation. This is definitely a game changer for HRBPs who don't always have time to fully prep before meetings, because sometimes people will slack you or message you on Teams and like, hey, you got 5 minutes? And you have to get into a meeting sometimes very quick and you don't have a lot of time to prep. And then last but not least, AI is definitely great at analyzing, right? It's really good at looking at trends, recognizing patterns. You can use it for feedback. You can use it to point out different types of analysis and bringing different solutions to the table as well. It can also flag things that you might have missed, especially if you are reading 200 different survey responses and you're trying to, slice the data by leader or slice the data by location. Sometimes when you're looking at that, your eyes start to get crossed. And so sometimes you can miss things. So AI is great at analyzing and being able to pull out the things that sometimes we miss. And so, but this is the line that I want everybody to remember though. AI, again, is a thinking partner. It's not a decision maker. It can help you get to a stronger first draft or first recommendation, but you are still responsible for the final answer. AI does not know everything, and AI is not perfect. And a lot of times, AI can get things wrong. So that's where your human judgment comes in. Again, AI should not be the decision maker. You are the decision maker. You are still the subject matter expert. And so you have to use it in that way. All right, so here are some ways that people are already using AI within HR, especially right now. Again, communication is probably number one, writing emails and things like that, prepping for meetings with agendas or talking points, drafting executive summaries as well too. We get great information, we have great information, but sometimes as an HR department or as an HR leader, we have a hard time compressing things for executives who don't have time to read 4 and 5 page documents. AI can really help you to summarize and really create an executive summary that your executives will read. Again, data analysis, specifically qualitative data. If you have, again, like 250 open-ended survey comments, AI can help you spot the themes in minutes. So you are able to save time and spend more of your time on the recommendations and streamlining recommendations and solutions. And then we're already using it as strategic thinking in a strategic thinking capacity, I should say. And this one is really overrated. AI can help you really reframe the HR speak or the HR language that we use, and really kind of turn that around into language that the business speaks. So when you're talking about burnout, right? You can go to a manager and say, managers are go to your leaders and say, managers are burned out, right? That's how we talk about it. But your leaders are like, what does that actually means? So if you're using AI to help as a strategic thinking partner, you can say things like, well, sustained workload pressure is increasing our attrition risk. And that is leading to managers being burnt out. And that's a result of managers being burnt out. And when managers are burnt out, you're reducing decision quality. Same observation, right? But different impact at the leadership table. You have to be able to translate why this matters. Executives don't care that people are unhappy. That's just the truth of the matter. But if you can connect that to how that impacts the business and the bottom line, that's where you're going to get executives to kind of perk up and really hear what you're saying and listen to what you're saying and your recommendations and solutions. So in everything, like I said, HR, we're responsible for a lot. We have a lot on our plates, and we are expected to work miracles a lot of times, especially if you've been in HR for any amount of time. People come to us for everything. We play a lot of roles within our organizations, but there's when we are using a tool like AI, we definitely need to be careful as well because this part matters a lot more than we think, and that we give it time or we dedicate some thinking time to it. Because we handle a lot of sensitive data, we are definitely bound by employment laws, attorney-client privilege as well too, ethical obligations to our employees, and just really being those ethical beacons in the company. So where we have to be careful, even when using AI, especially, is with confidentiality. Don't put your employees' names, medical information, ER investigation details. Don't put that in an AI tool. Period. Even if your company has approved a specific AI tool, Whether it's been cleared for a specific use or not, the safer approach is to anonymize and generalize the data that you're putting into AI. So instead of saying, Johnny Smith said his manager retaliated, you can say an employee raised a concern that their manager retaliated against them or is treating them differently. So AI can still help you in thought partnership, but the information about Johnny Smith basically is more protected. Also, with employee relations investigations, this is not the place to use AI for an actual investigation. Real employee relations work involves attorney consultation sometimes, documentation that could be subpoenaed, especially if you get to any type of litigation, and judgment that the law expects from a human being. There is a lot of legislation still being developed in the courts right now because AI is so new. So we just have to be careful for that, right? So just make sure you can use AI to help you prepare like neutral intake questions or interview questions, but it should not write your investigation summary. Okay. Medical information, we know the ADA, we know FMLA, accommodation, any type of accommodation discussions, those should be off limits in public AI tools, full stop. Right, the legal exposure is too high, especially right now, while that arena and especially AI legislation is still being developed. So protect yourself and your company. Any type of compensation decisions, AI can help you summarize comp data. It can't make and it should not make pay decisions for you. Pay decision, market data validation, documenting any type of rationale that a regulator or a court would accept needs to come from a human, not AI. Bias risk is huge too. This is one that sometimes we underestimate. AI is only as good as the human beings that made it, and we know that human beings are inherently biased. So in AI, it makes logical sense that AI can also produce some biased outcomes as well too. So think about hiring language, think about performance feedback, think about promotion summaries, right? All of it can quietly reinforce stereotypes and bias. So we have to be very careful with that. So always read any AI output before you just copy and paste. And then the legal risk, all of this really surrounds that too. AI can sound very confident. It is built to, excuse me, to give you the answer that you want. And so sometimes it'll make up statutes, it'll make up information, it will hallucinate. And so it can also misquote policies. It will cite cases sometimes that don't even exist. So verify every legal claim before it leaves your hands. Okay. Do not leave that in the hands of AI. Just again, don't just copy and paste information. So the point of this is not to scare you at all, but it's just to make you a smart user. And so as an HR professional, if you get this right the first time, that'll help you go further than the ones that treat AI like a free pass or like it's going to do the work, all of your work for you. That's not what it was designed to do, and that's not what we should be using it for either. Okay. All right. So here is part of the AI conversation almost not a lot of people are having clearly enough. A lot of HR people, if we are being very honest with ourselves, are worried that AI will replace them. But anytime I have this conversation, I always say that that's the wrong question to ask, right? The real question is what actually becomes more valuable when AI is doing the more routine work? And the answer is everything that you see here on this slide. Business acumen, for one, knowing exactly what matters to your company. AI does not know your P&L statement. AI doesn't have all of the context. It doesn't know your customers. It doesn't know which leaders are credible in your organizations and which ones are the ones that you avoid at all costs or you don't listen to, right? You know that information. And so that's where your human capabilities come into play. Also, your human judgment. knowing when to push, knowing when to wait, knowing the politics of your organization, when to escalate something, when to stay quiet. That is a craft and a skill that only a human being can do. AI can't do that. That is years of experience. That is years of seeing patterns across multiple organizations that you've worked in. Critical thinking also. AI gives you answers and a lot of good answers, right? But as a good HR professional and a strategic HR professional, we're going to question those answers, right? So we're going to ask things like, what's missing here? What context did this not account for? What's the second or third or fourth option? Or what's the consequence of using this solution? We have to engage our critical thinking skills. Relationship building is also one of the most important, especially in HR. AI can't sit in your one-on-ones with a struggling leader and give them coaching advice. AI doesn't know which manager needs encouragement and which one of them needs some real talk, right? Again, it doesn't have that context. AI can't build those relationships for you. You can do that. And that's where your value shows up. With communication, AI is really good, like we said, at drafting, but you decide what to say and when to say it and how it lands with the audiences that it needs to land with. And then influence as well. Influence is something that you build over time, just like trust, right? You build that over years of being right enough in situations where people have listened to you. AI doesn't have that track record yet, right? You do. And so you are valuable there. And then with leadership, AI can't lead you through change. AI can't lead an organization through change. It can't sit with, colleagues who have lost coworkers. It can't sit with the grief. It can't hold an organization together during a crisis. Or it also can't model values during hard decisions and making trade-offs. That is where the people and the subject matter expertise and the human aspect come in. And again, that is what makes us so valuable. HR is not replaceable, right? Good HR professionals are not replaceable. And AI is not going to replace you. But HR professionals who know how to use AI strategically are the ones that will. They're going to have the advantage over these next couple of years. And that is the real shift that we all need to make very quickly if we're going to continue to thrive in this world and in this environment. So I want to take this time to ask another question. So this is question 2 of the poll. I'm going to relaunch this poll here and ask you all, what's the most useful for the rest of our time together, and wanting to make sure when you take this course that you're getting the most out of it. And so this ties directly into, again, how the certification is structured. So I'm going to relaunch this poll now. And I want you to answer question 2 of this poll, which is, where would you like AI to help you the most? So whether that's communication, productivity, data analysis, strategic thinking, go ahead. It should be popping up on your screen now. And so go ahead and answer question 2 for me. Whether that's strategic thinking, you want it to help you with more of that, depending on your role and your level within HR, it could be different as well too. So where would you like AI to help you the most? Okay. All right, I see some answers coming in. All right, communication definitely can help you with that. I see a bunch of communication. This is the focus of week 2, is all about communication, drafting faster, writing for different audiences, sounding human, simplifying your messaging. Okay, I see a bunch of productivity. This is where week 1 and week 4 do a lot of the heavy lifting for this course. Week 1 is going to get you using AI immediately. And then week 4 turns it into a real workflow that you can sustain. Data analysis looks like that's winning. Yep, we're going to talk about that in week 3. Strategic thinking. This is threaded throughout all of the course there. Meeting prep, yep, also in week one. So I'm going to end the poll. Thank you for those who have participated. And I will share the results out with you all here. So it looks like data analysis is the clear winner here with 19 out of 24 responses. And then next, very right behind that is strategic thinking. Awesome. Again, that's where the bulk of this course is designed to help you with. So great. Wonderful. So we're on the right track. We are definitely on the right track. So let's go ahead and talk about each week and what this course is going to help you with. All right. So this is the certification that we built. 4 weeks. It's going to be 2 hours each week, entirely focused on practical HR application. So when I started to design this program, I didn't, excuse me, I didn't want another AI course that spent hours explaining what AI is or talking about the technology trends and the technology behind it. I'm not going to teach you what a large language model is or an LLM, right? Most of us, again, already know AI exists or are using it in some capacity right now. So the real question is, how do we actually use it in our work? Where does the value lie for HR professionals? So me work every single day. And so this course follows this natural progression over these 4 weeks. So week number one is all about using AI tomorrow at work. It's about getting comfortable, building confidence with AI tools. We're going to focus on week one on practical, like low risk HR tasks that most of us do every week. So that's preparing for meetings, drafting summaries, brainstorming, organizing information. So you're going to learn how to write stronger prompts, how to review AI outputs critically, and how to stay in control of the process. So I want you to be able to leave that first session and immediately apply something that you've learned the very next day. Then we will move into week two. Week two is all about writing better, faster, and smarter. And so this focuses more on communication because one of the biggest mistakes people make is assuming that the same message is going to work for every audience. And so employees usually need something different than your people managers. And managers usually need something different than your C-suite or your executives, right? And then your executives need something totally different than internal to your HR team. So that we just named four different audiences right there. So we're going to learn how to use AI to adapt your communication for different stakeholders while you still are able to maintain your voice, your credibility, and then the authenticity, because we don't want our communication sounding AI coded. Okay. Then we move into week three, and week three is all about moving beyond the communications, but moving into strategic thinking. So we're going to be looking at analyzing data. A lot of us have access to valuable information, but leaders, they don't need a whole bunch of information. They want insights and they want solutions and they want them now. And so we'll use AI to organize feedback. We'll also use it to identify any patterns, identify themes, translate some of those findings into actual business focused solutions and business focused recommendations. So the goal is to move from here's what employees said to here's what leaders need to know and what do we need to do next, and this is how we're going to do it. That's what week three is all about. And then week four, this is the final week and it brings everything together. So we are going to talk about how do we use AI as an HR thought partner. And so we'll explore how, as HR professionals, how we can use AI to support coaching, how to support decision making, problem solving, and also leadership support as well too. We'll talk about human judgment ad nauseum. We'll talk about ethical boundaries because I don't want you all leaving this course without having something tangible to really like a checklist of how do I need to use this, because I don't want anybody getting in trouble. I don't want anyone unknowingly getting in trouble because of how they're using AI as well. So I want you to be able to build your confidence. I want you to think about confidentiality, and really, most importantly, when AI shouldn't be used in certain situations. And so, again, we're going to be thinking about using it and how to use it as a thought partner, not a replacement for you or a replacement for subject matter expertise. Because at the end of the day, AI can generate all the content that that anyone could need for a lifetime, but it cannot replace your judgment. It cannot replace relationships, like we just talked about. It can't replace coaching, and it cannot replace influence. So throughout the entire program, you're going to complete hands-on exercises based on realistic HR scenarios. Along the way, you're going to build a practical toolkit of prompts and frameworks that you'll be able to apply to your work, and then develop skills that, again, all about. The goal is to really help you to be more effective in your day-to-day work. All right, come on. Let's see if it's going to work for me. There we go. All right. So what makes Black in HR different and this course different? Again, it's built by HR practitioners, which of course is me and some of my colleagues and subject matter experts within the Black in HR community. I'm not teaching you theory. It's all practical things that you can take back to your work. We're using real scenarios, things that you've probably already faced or will face at some point in your day-to-day work or in your career. We're going to talk about, we're going to build a prompt library. So you'll have prompts that are already tested and used, but then we'll also be building them along the way. So you're able to take that with you. And then you're going to have get some workflows as well, some step-by-step processes that you can use. And then again, it's all about responsible use. This is a non-negotiable for me because I want to make sure that we are using and my fellow HR practitioners are treating confidentiality, bias, and ethics. That should be at the core of all of our work as HR professionals. So that is something that is very important and what we will be ending the course with. So, not just a certificate, you're going to have a prompt library, again, practical workflows, communication tools, so templates and things that you can use for talking points with your leaders, talking points within your internal team, analysis frameworks that you can apply over and over and over again. And then, last but not least, is confidence. I want you to walk away feeling better about using the tools. We're going to use a variety of tools within the course as well. Chat GPT and Claude being just two of those. Those are probably the most popular tools right now. So I'll show you some workflows in both of those. And then for just a quick shout out again to our partners with ADP. This was built exclusively for our community. And so the ADP certification, the ADP sponsorship of this certification is exclusive, again, only for Black in HR. And so we are definitely proud to partner with ADP and bringing this access to our community together and with this part, real skills and making sure that you have what you need to succeed in your career and to be able to succeed in whatever role that you choose to take. All right, and then here are the enrollment details, excuse me, as well. If the screen will go ahead and move for me. There we go. Awesome. And so again, here are the program dates. Before we get into the Q&A, I just want to, of course, give you those details. We're kicking this off next month in July. And so it'll be from July 26th through August 16th. And these will be on Sundays from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we want to make sure that everyone has an opportunity to be able to join us. So we thought putting it on Sundays would probably be better. So people are able to join us and to be able to participate. So it's 4 weeks, 2 hours per session on each one of those Sundays. Dollars for this course. It does include, again, all the prompt library, the templates. You get the live replays. If you're not able to join a live session, which I highly encourage that you do, but life happens. So if you're not able to join a live session, you will have access to the replays for 90 days. Also, with the investment, you are able to partner with any of our finance partners here, like Klarna, Sezzle, Affirm, Afterpay. You are able to use that as well to help you to be able to make this investment in your professional development. And right now, you get 15% off if you sign up on or before Sunday, June 7th. Just use the code BlackAIHR, and you'll see right there on the right-hand side of the screen. Feel free to use your phones or your tablets to scan that QR code, and that'll take you to our registration page. If you are already a Black and HR member, you are going to receive priority access to the registration. So again, take advantage of that 15% off right now if you use the code Black AI HR. And so before we get into the questions, just a few things that people commonly ask in case it saves you some time. Yes, employers often cover this as professional development. Again, yes, replays are included. Yes, you get the prompt library templates, whether you are able to join the live class or not. And then yes, this counts towards most continuing education certifications or many other HR programs. This can count as continuing education credits for you as well too. So again, I just want to leave you with um, how AI and how we want to be strategic and show up in this space, especially right now. Again, I've been in HR for a very long time. I've watched a lot of future of work type of conversations come and go. Some of them mattered, a lot of them didn't. But this one matters because this is really shifting the nature of everyone's work. And not because AI is some magic solution or magic pill, right? But because the way that the work is shifting and the work is getting done, we have a choice about what role we play in that. And so, again, Black in HR is here to help you to kind of get you prepared for what the next couple of years will be like. Okay. All right. So with that, I am going to let's get to some of your questions. I'm going to open the chat as well. But feel free to raise your hand and you can come off mute and be able to ask your questions. All right, so let me scroll up here. Let's see. Okay, see a lot of comments. Awesome. But let's see. Let me get to the first question that I see. All right. Somebody said, I wish I can tell tell employees this who likes to use AI. Let's see. Awesome. Okay, let's see. Makisha said, Kimberly, what would be helpful would be a discussion re-leveraging AI for reporting and an add-on to existing system and tools. Okay, awesome. That's a great idea. I think in week 3, how I have it set up right now, as we're talking about analysis, I think in our live discussion, absolutely, we can talk about things that you're currently utilizing or some ideas. I can offer some thought partnership on ideas how to leverage it better for the reporting that you have access to or that what would be helpful for you. So absolutely join. I hope to see you in the class, but I think that would be a great discussion and utilize not just me but your fellow colleagues in the class too. Let's use each other to learn from each other on what we can use and what's out there because there are tools being created every day it seems like. So Trina asked, will the course content also touch on cognitive atrophy, AI induced cognitive decline? Ooh, that's a great question. weakening the brain networks that are responsible for critical thinking, memory, creativity, etc. when there is an overuse versus using as a thought partner. So, Trina, transparently, no, the course doesn't the content right now doesn't touch on that specifically, but I literally was just having this conversation with some of my colleagues last week when we were together in the office because it's scary. And sometimes I think about like, I don't want to over rely on HR because, or on AI, because I want to make sure that I am staying sharp and utilizing the skills that I have developed over years and years. And right now it's like, well, who are going to be the subject matter experts if newer professionals and this newer generation has access to this tooling now? What's the incentive to actually learn the information? Because somebody's going to have to edit, right? Somebody's going to have to check AI for bias and check AI for errors. And if you don't have the subject matter expertise, how are you going to do that? Right. So I think that's a great discussion. I'd love to have that discussion with you all in class. But no, the content does not touch on that specifically. But happy to, because I think I could talk pretty, we probably could do a session and a half just on that topic alone. So, so I think that's really great. All right. See a lot of thank yous. Okay, awesome. Anyone feel or have any additional questions, comments, or concerns? I hope this will be helpful for you all. I try to, in this information, will go a little more in depth than I usually do because I want to make sure that we are talking about the things, talking about the not just the value of the course, but also how the course was designed to really help you to be able to bring this information and utilize this information like right away. All right, awesome. Okay, so if I'll still keep an eye on the chat, but as we close out, I wanted to give a quick shout out really quickly to some of our upcoming courses. We have Prathan, who is an amazing employee relations professional and also one of our fearless leaders here at Black in HR. The Employee Relations Certification Bootcamp is happening actually this weekend. So if employee relations conversations, investigations, performance issues, or workplace conflict make you nervous, this is one of the most practical programs that Black in HR offers. And so you'll be learning again from one of the best practitioners that I know. And so you can scan the QR code there on the screen if you would like to register, but it starts this Sunday, or I'm sorry, this Saturday, June 6th, and also continues on Sunday, June 7th. On Saturday, it'll be from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern, and on Sunday, it'll be from 4 to 7 p.m. Eastern as well. So please avail yourself to that. Like I said, it's an amazing course, even if you are already a practitioner and have been practicing ER for a while. Prathan is amazing at what he does and gives you the secret sauce and gives you all of the practical tooling that you need. And then also, I believe there is some AI content and some and how to use AI in your employee relations investigations as well too. So really, really great content. So please avail yourself to that. And then the next two will be coming right after the July AI certification. We have our back by popular demand, our Road to HR Generalist certification cohort. That is going to be starting in September, starts on September 6th and goes through September 27th. That is also a 4-week course, and it'll be Sundays from 2 to 4 p.m. So if you're newer to HR, transitioning into HR, or just really looking to strengthen your foundation, this class is a great next step for you. I'm also revising and editing this class to add some more AI components to this as well. So please feel free to scan the QR code there to learn more information or to register for that course. And then last but not least, if your goal is to move beyond HR, like the admin and the foundational pieces, and to become a really true strategic partner to the business, The Road to Business Partner certification was built just for you. So we're going to be focusing in this course on influence, business acumen, stakeholder management, and also like project management as well too, and just all the skills really that help you to be able to earn a seat at the table and to really drive impact in your organization. So this will be happening in November from November 18th or from October 18th, sorry, to November 8th. Again, Sundays from 2 to 4 p.m. So please feel free to avail yourself to this course as well. And you can scan the QR code to learn more information or to register for the class. All right. You are correct, Brianna. Prathan is definitely gonna snatch all of your edges, because I'm telling you, he is one of the best that I have ever worked with. But the way that his teaching style and the way that he gives you the secret sauce to be better, it's unique to him. That's all. I won't spoil it, but it's unique to him, and you will learn a lot. So I highly recommend that class. And I don't make recommendations lightly. Let's see. Arnica said, "Will there be another date for this AI course?" Yes, if we have a lot of demand for the course, we can definitely schedule more sessions. This is just the first time that we are doing it and that we're launching it. So, like I said, we have the generalist course coming in August and September, and then the business partner course coming in October. So, if there's demand, we can definitely squeeze another one in there. If there's demand for it. But yes, the plan is to continue to offer these courses live as much as possible and as much as our community needs and wants them. All right, let's see. Any other questions? Awesome, thank you. The link to our course page has been dropped in the chat for you all. So please feel free to join there. And then also I will put my email in the chat as well. If you have questions, that you think of later on and you would like to ask me, I am more than happy to answer any questions. So if you think of things even outside of this, or you could revisit as well to this recording. This recording will be posted on our website, so you're able to review it as well. All right, awesome. Thank you, Arnica. I am looking forward to having you in class as well. I think this is going to definitely be very helpful and valuable for where we are as an industry right now too. So I'm excited to be able to teach this course. All right. Thank you, George. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Thank you for your time. We appreciate you as always. And we are here if you need us. Please feel free to email have a wonderful rest of your evening. And I hope to see you all in class. Thank you.